Hageman, Mr. Jim Caviezel, the great Michael Emerson, Kevin Chapman, Sarah Shahi, and last but not least, the lovely Amy Acker. So Jonathan, let's start off with the question of why create this show? What was going through your mind, besides paranoia? Which turns out you were right. I know. You keep telling your wife that, right, honey?
It was actually all an elaborate scheme to try to get the government to pay us residuals. No, we were interested in, I was interested in surveillance, and then interested in the idea of what happens with all that information. What if you had access to that information and you were in a position to do something with it?
Well, you know, I heard you interview before, and you make the point that, you know, like probably 99% of this audience is giving out more information on themselves than the CIA could have collected 20 years ago. The top guys there. It's just kind of crazy. People don't think about it. And you've kind of made people think. I know when I walk around now, I'm constantly looking for cameras. I'm completely paranoid.
The information's working in funny ways. I read an article the other day that described Mark Zuckerberg as being at the head of the world's largest spying agency. I think there's something to that.
Well, you know, there's constantly their questions, but now, of course, we find out that the machine really does exist.
It does, although I think our machine is a whole lot more efficient than PRISM.
Yours is a little, but who knows? Maybe they're spitting out numbers too, relevant or non-relevant.
It's possible. If so, someone in the NSA is laughing every Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Do you get, where do you get your information? I mean, you know, do you have consultants for all of this? Greg, question for you?
I feel a little bit like the NSA chief right now. Standing before Congress, it's just amazing.
Because again, we're not that far off at all. There's really nothing in it that's science fiction now.
No, we have a technical consultant on the show named Tony Camarino, who's absolutely fabulous. He was an Iraqi interrogator in the Air Force as well. But a lot of the things that we get, fortunately, are falling right from the news.
Yeah.
There's nothing, every one of the writers is constantly saying information back and forth. I think we just found out yesterday or the day before that Huawei, one of the major technological companies in the world, is probably spying for the Chinese, and they knew it all along. And it's just, we look back on a number of episodes that we've done, it's really easy to get inspiration from those. One thing I want to say though is that I just, you can tell from that reel up there just how amazing our cast and crew is, and I just want to thank all these guys for coming.
Well, talking about the cast, I mean, I think you guys have assembled a great cast, and it keeps changing and building as the story does, and we're working with more people, and we're building a big team. And I love what's going on in the police department, and we've got a dirty cop on our hands now. Or not, you know, but what's great about it, it's shades of gray on this show. Like, nobody's completely right. Even when you guys are going out to help somebody, like the guy who was laundering money in the casino, he's a money launderer, and you gave him a restaurant, Michael. How dare you? But you know, it's that sort of thing. So how do you feel about your character changing now and becoming a dirty cop, or not? I mean, it was years ago, but he could become that, and where the show is going now with all of this.
I like to refer to him as conflicted.
Conflicted, okay.
No, it's great. I mean, I think that Fusco is now coming back to the once heroic image of himself, and it's really nice to see him kind of come into the fold and get back to the thing that I think once drove him to be a cop. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to take that turn. Yeah, right. I had a feeling that was coming, Greg. I mean, John, excuse me.
Well, talk about Gray. Amy, I love your character because we're just not sure where, you know, sometimes I'm waiting she's doing the right thing. And you know what? Everybody says she's kind of mean, but I think she's having fun with it. You seem to be having fun with it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, every time I read a script, I just am like, I get to say that? But I don't think she's mean. It's just if people don't do what she tells them to, then she gets upset. I think we all identify with that.
Sarah, your character Shaw is awesome. Everybody quickly became a fan favorite. And where do you see your character going now that you've sort of left the agency, and what's she going to be doing next?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question.
It's another Shades of Grey.
It is. You know, the thing that I love the most about her is her unpredictability and the fact that she really could go anywhere. You know, we talk about her as being the female Jason Bourne. And, you know, at this point, yeah, she kind of is a man with no country. But these guys have taken her in and given her some duties. But for the most part, I just have to say it's so much fun killing people. It's just, I mean, and the stunts are just so bad. ASS for the children under 18. No, I mean, I'm incredibly grateful to, you know, work with such a pedigree of talent every day. It's amazing.
And you get to shoot in a great city, New York, and it's not fake New York, it's real New York,
It's
and that
real
makes a
New York.
huge difference.
Yeah, I just moved there, and yes, there is a huge difference.
Yeah, well, and also the heat, it's like 1,000 degrees there right now, but let's not talk about
let's
that.
not talk about that.
But that's fun, you get to shoot people at the library, wherever you want.
I get to shoot people everywhere, and you know, it's my husband doesn't really like the way I put it like this. He's like, "How was work today?" I'm like, "It was awesome, honey. I just chased boys all day long, and then I shot them."
It's like grade school all again for you, huh?
I know, it's great. It's her flirtations, you know.
Michael Emerson, love your character. But what I'm loving about this season is you're out and about, or last season you were out and about more, and I love that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for me and for Mr. Finch to get out of the library and, you know, get out there and play spy a little bit.
Yeah, and we've learned a lot about your character this season, where his injuries came from, and that was such an emotional scene.
Yeah, it's nice to have a backstory, and I think the audience likes to know more about these characters. It's fine to be mysterious, and I think they still are, but it lends, I think, poignancy and complexity to the storytelling, and it engages you. You know, you feel something.
Well, I also think the guys do it. It's a great job of not throwing something out there to become a mystery. We're going to learn in time. You know, you don't want all the answers right away. It's not like you've got all these crazy mysteries that need to unravel.
Right. I think the writing team is so smart because they seem to know instinctively the pace at which to dole out the goods. You know, because you don't want it all at once, it's part of the craft of writing a long-running show, I think, and they're doing very well.
Do you think next season you'll be out and about more again?
I'm just happy to be there.
Get out of the library more.
I mean, you file that under careful what you wish for, because you know, then I may be on a broiling street corner in a three-piece wool suit all day, and then you think, God, the library is really a nice set.
You don't want to be shooting that now in a wool suit. Jim, your character, your character is probably the most consistent. I mean, sort of in his actions and where he is, and it doesn't. He jumps around a little bit, but he doesn't change much. And how do you play that?
I just know I'm right all the time.
That's a good one. I do that too, but it doesn't work the same for me. But when you do, again, like what I love is that you guys are just going out and having fun and shooting people in the streets, as she said before. So what's the most fun about the show for you?
I just said the writing. It's all about the writing. And these guys, what they do, you know, it's just, you know, consistently the team of writers, and just to me, you know, sometimes it's on the nose, sometimes it's very poetic. It's done in a...
It always makes you think.
Very, very linear, but non-linear, you know?
A number of our writers are actually here today up in the front.
Stand up, Mariah, stand up, come on!
Stand up, take a bow. Well, speaking of the cast and everything, Jonah, don't you have some casting news?
Oh yeah, very excited. We announced, just want to make sure everyone here knew at the end of the season, we announced that Sarah Shahi will be joining the team. Yeah.
We also like to welcome Amy Acker to the show on a regular basis.
Series regular. Let me ask you guys real quickly, how do you deal with Bad Robot and it's just obviously Bad Robot Productions, everybody knows, Brian Berkey, Kathy Link, how do you deal with them and what do they, how interactive are they with you guys?
They're watching us right now. Very, very carefully.
We have a lot of guns.
Now, Bad Robot, JJ, Berkey, Kathy, Athena, Steve, the whole team there, it's an incredible, incredible family, sort of an extended family for us, and they've been there from the very beginning, helping us build the show and bring all this incredible production value and this incredible cast together. It's just, it's an amazing company they built there.
One of the other things I love about the show, I mean, everybody, if you're not up to date, I mean, I highly suggest watching every episode, but if you don't, if you miss one, it's not, you can get by it. And
you have to watch everything. Available on iTunes.
All right, I think we should go to the audience now with some questions. We have some people lined up somewhere. Go ahead. Get there. Stand up. Be counted.
Great show. I won't say more than that, but excellent. My question is, are you surprised that this show is not embraced by traditional science fiction fans as being genre, being the typical story here? Because in my mind, this is the strongest science fiction show on the air.
Well, science fact now.
Yeah.
Well, I have a suspicion that where they're going, there'll be some fiction coming back into it. But anyway, I'm just curious. It's almost like when Lost came out, people said, don't tell anyone what it's about. Are you purposely hiding yourself in the open?
No, I'm unabashed about the fact that this is a science fiction show. I'm a huge genre fan. I don't think I've ever worked on anything and probably never will work on anything that couldn't come here to Comic-Con and be celebrated here, hopefully. I think, as Rob pointed out, part of the reason the science fiction community may not embrace it is because they sensed that it was actually true, it turns out. But we do like the science fiction aspect of the show, the cyberpunk aspect of the show. We aim to, now that reality has caught up with us, we aim in the third season to push out a little bit further out into that space.
Next question.
Great show. Last year I asked about the nature of your flashbacks and about Nathan's death scene. Thank you for the way how you handled that material. It was very touching. This year I wanted to ask about the episode Relevance. Mr. Nolan, it was the first time you directed. It was completely different, yet it was at the same time. It was at home. It was all the features of the show at the same time. And it brought us our great character, Samantha Shaw, so thank you for that. Will you direct more featured episodes? And I can ask a second question. Will Shaw and Root ever team up to be a team like Finch and Jim?
I'm going to say yes to that. That would be awesome.
I think you bugged our writers, Mo. I'd love to direct more. It was, I mean, it's cheating a little bit when you have a.
Well, Jonah, you had such a great experience with me.
I did. Had a fantastic experience.
You're welcome.
It's cheating. It's cheating when you have this incredible cast, this incredible crew who made the show 30 times in a row. They make you look awfully good. But I had a great time. And we had always wanted narratively to pull a bit of a departure episode and jump out onto the other side of our story. So very, very glad that everyone enjoyed it. We hope to do some more of that in the future.
Something that I think you guys did great was the season finale. I really loved it. I mean, you brought everything together, but sort of atypical. You gave us that moment of everybody in the room and where's the machine and everything. I just want to see how, just going down the line, how the cast starting with you, Amy, felt about the finale. Did you feel you were in a good place with that?
You better say you like it.
I think Jonah is brilliant and it was good. Yeah, I was super excited. Just, you know, when we're doing the show, we don't really know what's coming up. So we get the script and it's kind of like opening a present, and then you get to see what's happening the same way that you guys do when you're watching it. So I think, I mean, I feel like everyone's going to have a similar answer, but I think we were all really excited that it came to that ending, and then to see where they're going to bring it from that point.
And do you know anything where it's going? Do you need a script yet? No. Jonas says no. How about you, Sarah?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
I'd be honored.
I'd like that. No, you know, yes. As Amy said, I thought it was fantastic and amazing, and I'm going to echo her sentiment again. When I get the script, I get the same feeling. You know, I'm very new to the team, and the things that I get to say and the things that I do, and I thought it was very clever the way in which they did incorporate me into the team. That, you know, as Michael was saying, you don't want to give in your goods too soon, and I think they found a very clever way to very slowly make me a part of this, and you know, to be a part of that finale was fantastic. And again, yeah, I mean, I read these pages and these lines and go, holy, SHIT, I get to say that, you know.
Do you have anything going next season, Kevin, where you feel you want your character to go?
There isn't too many places my character hasn't been. Let's start with that.
Or stay for a while.
No, it's really nice to, as they say, have that sense of duality with the character. And you know, I'm just really, like a lot of you folks here today, I'm sure, just blown away by this NSA stuff that's going on and how it runs, you know, with our show. And I even approached Jonah about possibly changing the name to the Real Housewives of Interest. No, we're a reality show. But no, it really is. It's really it's been quite amazing to see the parallels and see our show mentioned.
Right, it's supposed to be fun to have the attention on the shows
exactly.
in an important way.
Yeah,
So, hey,
absolutely.
these guys were first out with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to the audience, question.
Hi, my name is Steve, and this is a question for all the actors on stage. I know it's my understanding that there's a lot of communication between directors and writers, and of course between directors and actors, but is there any communication between the actors and the writers? Can an actor say, hey, you know, I have a great idea for my character, would you consider doing that? Or would a writer go to an actor and say, hey, you know, I have this idea for your character, what do you think of it?
Yes.
What are the actors want? Michael, you want to take that?
Of course, we're always happy to receive suggestions. Absolutely, with open arms.
In answer to your question, sir, yes, it does work that way, where the, you know, I think all the actors, and they can speak for themselves, of course, but there have been lots of times when the writers, well, actually, you guys don't ask me anything. Now I think about it, wait a minute.
We had to stop soliciting ideas because Chappie kept suggesting that Reese gets killed and Fusco becomes the...
You've been blocked from the writer's room.
Let's move this fall to Fusco.
But the writers do make themselves very available to the actors, and you know, even though they're, you know, it is their words, they are very open to everything, and it does feel like a collaboration. So that's good. Yeah.
If I could jump in a little bit on that one, I think the fun of the collaboration, our writers always go to set when it's time to produce their episode, whether they want to or not. I know it's 100 degrees. But 3 seasons in, whatever assumptions Greg and I had about where this story would go, you get this really fantastic feedback loop that sets up when you have the privilege of working with actors as talented as these ones. Their choices and their ideas inform you, even on a subliminal level. You're getting cuts back, you're getting takes back, and realizing that, you know, the character's been taken in a direction you didn't anticipate. That's really the great pleasure of the collaborative nature of television and film. Is that you don't, you know, you're not just a little petty despot in a room dictating what your character's